Enough. Enough, Australia. Enough with the eye rolling. Every time Pauline Hanson's name is mentioned or One Nation is mentioned, enough. This is a woman who has lasted 30 years in the dirtiest business there is, politics. If I hear one more person say, no good Muslims, that's not what she said. She said, you tell me who the good Muslims are, meaning you tell me who's here to do us harm and who is not. We all know there's good Muslims. She knows, and she said, and she even apologized. But here's the thing. Who wants to twist those words? Who's trying to obfuscate the meaning here, and why? Ask yourself that. If One Nation wasn't polling the way it was, we wouldn't be hearing about dark forces. And Matt, congratulations, leader of the National Party today. He wouldn't be coming out saying all those things about One Nation if they weren't polling like crazy. And this is what I want you to think about. Who has been loyal? Who's been loyal to the Australian people? Not the uni party, not permanent Canberra, not these two wings of the same bird. No, they're keeping themselves in power. That's how the system is rigged. And they're actually using our tax dollars to do it. We're paying for their campaigns. They vote with each other to keep the other one there. And they preference things that means your vote, whether you know exactly how you're voting or not, will preference that Liberal and Labor will stay the top two. This permanent Canberra, this forever nonsense of what has become the elite political class. Liberal says, we're going to vote down this hate speech laws. It's been rushed through. It's too large. We haven't had time to look at it. That's what they're telling you. And then they go into behind closed doors and vote the thing through. They can't be trusted. These people have been lying to us. They have driven the country into the ground, whether it's open doors and mass migration and not knowing who's coming in, or foreign students are buying up houses, or whatever is the thing. We've got a housing crisis, we've got an immigration crisis, we've got 18,000 people on the ASIO list. Enough. Enough. Look at the policies of the people you're voting for. This is not about personality. They want to make it about personality. They want to have a go. It's really easy, isn't it, to poke at someone who you think is somehow less than you. I mean, that should tell you everything you need to know right there. They're not here for the everyday man. They're not here for the everyday woman. The main parties want to keep themselves in power. That's it. They're not making long-term decisions for this country. And there's two core issues that I'll be voting on when the time comes. Loyalty and common sense. I don't see a lot of it going on. I know that if you had a problem and you went to Canberra, Pauline would be the one who's listening to you. Ask the veterans, ask the Jewish community. Everyone clapped and cheered when she made her way down to Bondi. Not so for Anthony Albanese. You are going to hear her slaughtered in the media over the next coming weeks and months. A biopic is coming out about John Howard. What is that, damage control in advance? Or are we just trying to make people remember the good old days for the Liberal Party, who are scrambling? I want you to think that as soon as you hear people speaking against her, eye rolling, the Labor Party, oh, she's divisive. No, she's not. Anthony, you are the most divisive politician I have ever seen in this country. These people are scrambling because guess what? The everyday man, the everyday woman, all of a sudden we've woken up and looked around. And we realised that we wanted to leave the country to our children, but there's another group who want to leave it to theirs. Yes, there are no-go zones. Melbourne is a mess. A young man was just slaughtered, trying to help another young man from teenagers with machetes. The Jew hate that has festered in this country, in Melbourne, in Sydney. Oh, anti-Semitism. No. People will say, I'm not anti-Semitic, but, well, after the but is going to come the Jew hate. I'm not anti-Semitic, but, you know, they're ruling the world and they've got all the banks and they're this and they're that and America did that. But let's call it what it is. It's Jew hate. Gough Whitlam said, when the bell tolls for Israel, it tolls for all of us. There are so many issues in country Australia. Agricultural land covered in solar panels, windmills that don't provide enough power and end up in windmill graveyards. They want to put them in the ocean down here on the south coast. And where are we buying them from? China. China, who buys our energy and pays no tax. It's ridiculous. In Norway, when they sell their resources, they make sure that the tax and the money they get for those resources is funding their children's higher education. You don't have to pay to go to university in Norway because they haven't sold out the next generation. Not so here in Australia. I said to my daughter, who hopes to go to university next year, are you be paying for that course? Oh yeah, of course, I'll be in debt till I'm 40. What? That's not necessary, Australia. We could be energy independent. But no, zero emissions. Our resources are being burnt somewhere in the world. You must have figured this out by now. Someone's using them, just not us. And when they do, they don't pay. It's got to stop. We are hemorrhaging. We are hemorrhaging on the way out, and we are hemorrhaging on the way in. It has to change. I did something this week that I have never done in my 50 plus years as an Australian woman. I joined a political party because I'm going to vote for loyalty, someone who I know is listening to the Australian people in Canberra, and common sense. I've read the policies. I know what they are. Maybe I'll do another video soon on some of those things. But the people in Canberra all of a sudden are scrambling. Oh, they'll be listening to you now. They'll be listening to the veterans now. They'll be listening to Jewish people now. But who was listening before all this blew up? Who was listening over the last 10 years? I've had enough of people bagging out the very person who has stood through being illegally jailed by John Howard. Thank you very much. That's probably why they're ramping up that story about him now. Well, let's get all glassy-eyed about John Howard. No, let's not. Let's remember the good old days of the Liberal Party. No, let's not. People are waking up, and you're going to hear a lot of slander and negative talk, and you need to know why. It's because the One Nation numbers are polling so strongly. Is there any integrity in that? We're gonna knock her down because she's doing so well? Because people have realized that we're not acting in their best interests, but she will, so let's knock her down. That's what's going on. There's zero integrity in that. So there are decisions to be made moving forward. And I've decided in this time of my life that, I'm going to throw my hat in with One Nation. I'm going to, at the very least, I'm going to stand up for someone who has stood up for us. She's not racist. She's not a fool. I'll grant you that sometimes when she speaks, she's misunderstood. But that is no reason to eye roll and poke. How elitist of you. If that's what you're doing, did you take your civil service that seriously over the last 30 years? I know I haven't. I'm not here to poke muck at her at all. So I just encourage you, Australia, to really see what's going on. Look, I see you, Matt Kavanagh. I see you, Labor Party. I see you, Liberal. I see you guys. And it would appear that you take us for fools. So that's a double whammy. Not only are you piling on this woman who's been there, who you've treated poorly, who's treated us with respect, but you're also treating us like fools. It's time for change. It's time for change in Australia, and I think it's coming. So, I don't know what you're going to decide to do, but I'm going to vote One Nation. Peace.